3, go. So again, we're in the next part. Anup is with us still. And Anup, regarding your global, exchange of this knowledge. So far, how many country people have approached you to learn this sound healing systems?
I think many. Actually, I would not. I think maybe except for some countries, I think mostly or from pretty much every country. I think pretty much every country except for one or
More than 100?
few. More than 100, of course.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's great.
pretty much.
So, yeah. So I also wanted to know, Anup, is this thing that you are doing has something you might have created the links with the Vedas, we have our own system. The Eastern philosophies speak so much about, like in the Vedas, you have there is huge explanation of ragas, especially in the Gandharva Shastra. So can you speak more about it? How you have linked it? What are the instruments you are practicing right now? And do they have the links with our Vedas or whatever you are doing right now? The ragas or the naad?
Yes.
How it is really helping to heal people?
Yes. So this is the whole idea. We can the way that I categorize this is I still take inspiration from the Naad Yoga, and like we divide Naad Yoga into two parts: the Ahat and the Anahat. And the Ahat is more quantifiable. It has properties. It has shrutis and all these things from the metaphysical point of view, not not only from the, let's say, the musical point of view, from the metaphysics, from the yoga side, right? So from the yoga side, the metaphysics is the Samkhya. So from the metaphysical, from the philosophical side, from the, let's say, from the philosophy is very shallow word, from the darshan side, whatever the sounds that we can talk about fall into the Ahat perspective, the Ahat sounds, right? The idea is to, from the Ahat, to go towards the Anahata. And the moment we reach towards the Anahata, that's the enlightenment.
Wow.
So whether we talk from the Vedic perspective or from the, let's say, even in the Surangama Sutra in Buddhism, Avalokiteswara comes to Buddha, and then, there is a lot of discussion there. And then there is a beautiful, explanation of how meditating on that, the Anahatanad, is probably one of the best way of achieving enlightenment in this age. And so from that sense we get, and also from the kirtan side of it, we know that even the Supreme Personality is saying, I don't dwell in the, where are you? That, let's say, if there are some people who like want to approach from the godly perspective, then where are you residing in this age? The Lord says, I'm not among Naambasami Vaikuntha Na Yoginam Hridayanacha. So I'm not in the Vaikuntha, and I'm also not in the heart of the yogis, where my bhaktas, where my devotees are chanting, I live there, right? So even from that perspective, so what he's saying is, where there is a sankirtan, where there is a sound, where there is a devotion and love, where this is happening, this is where I am. So both from the Astik and Nastik darshan, the emphasis on the sound. So Naad Yoga is a very big concept. It's a very big concept. Unfortunately, we cannot discuss all of these things, but yes. So the whole idea is, any sound, if you listen with undivided attention, it leads to Anahata. Any sound. And one of the best sound would be a long, adulterated, uninterrupted, and long continuous isochronic sound, like in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Shiva is talking about this, right? So um, like if you listen to a sound with undivided attention, soon you'll be absorbed into the Bhairava state from the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. So we see that from any possible sound, but in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, because that time the Shiva is talking from the, let's say, Tantra Divadya Sabdeshu, the Tantra, the Vadya that has the tar in it, the string in it. They're usually the sitar or the Rudravina, like that. So he says that, if you listen to pretty much any sound, actually, this is the whole concept. But the idea is like just that he's giving from the Tantra Divadya Sabdeshu Dirgeshu Krama Samsida. So if you listen to a sound of any instrument that has long resonation vibration, long sound, soon with your undivided attention, soon you will be absorbed into that state of Bhairava or certain kind of state. So here, now we have certain beautiful sound that is so uninterrupted. So even if you just simply can just focus on the sound and just listen to the sound, and the moment that, let's say, your mind is distracting somewhere, and just bring your awareness back to that sound, this is one of the best way of meditating. This is one of the best way of even the what we see from both the Astika and the Nastika, the school of thoughts. We see that it is a beautiful way of enlightenment or awakening in this age.
Yeah.
So I try to combine that, but from the, let's say, from the ahat sound, which is the sound that can be talked about, then this is where we can play the game. We can play the game of frequencies. We can play the game of soft sound, high sound. This is where the Naad also comes, and the Raga also comes, right? Because you cannot do anything with the anahatanata. It is what you achieve, it is what you awaken to. But you can play with the raga, you can play with the shrutis, you can play with all this instrument, all these things that can be played. So this is the whole idea, that it suits perfectly in these things, in anything, even astika, nastika, any scientific anything, it suits beautifully well.
I'm sitting in a meditative pose while I'm conversation with you. It's such beautiful. It's really going. No, but I want to know.
Yes.
People might have approached you for the healing purpose as well, right? Yeah. Not only like studying the sound systems, but also for the self-healing. So can you say a little about what kind of people approached you and what were the end results and how it helped them?
Now, this is a very complicated things, and because now, whenever something happens, there are people who are very like hyper optimistic about it, and the way that because I think they want to they want to say that what they are doing is too important for me. I think it's okay, it's not so important, but then they end up talking about very big promises, like, oh, the sound of this is healing cancer and this. So this is what I am not into so much. So I don't, yes, I know the concept, what is the idea of shattering the cancer cell with the resonant frequency, all these things. I know the concept, but I don't know, that we can produce this with the singing bowl. So when people come to me, I often see them.
With some issues on their emotional health, right?
So this is what I'm so talking about. So there are some people, they come with these things. Okay, I heard that singing bowl heals cancer and this and that kind of thing. So there are some things that are scientifically proven. Like one of the best thing is, maybe if you are fighting certain disease, I usually tell them that I can make you relaxed, because this is where it will all begin, right? It's one of the best tool. I'm not going to promise you this frequency is going to heal you or open your chakra, all this nonsense. Not like this. So yes, because the natural sounds of this or singing bowls or the gong, they naturally produce low theta hertz. So that, let's say, kinds of brings our heightened let's say stressful things down. and you get into a very meditative state. And this can help from one perspective.
Yeah.
The other perspective is from the physical perspective. So when you have some pain and like that, if I just place my hand in this way, I feel fine. So means we could use this physically from the vibrational, the power of the vibration. And this is something like this. So I tend to tell them in this way. So they sometimes they come just for healing. Let's say energy cleaning. Okay, this is something that we cannot usually, define what we really do from the energy kind of cleaning, and that's something that they like to do. And sometimes they come with too much hope for, like, because they must have read somewhere and exaggerations and this and that. So I clearly tell them, like, it's not going to happen. You need to go and see a doctor. But yes, if you have, let's say, anxiety, if you're going through maybe depression, these are not the cure. But what is this going to do is, yeah, this is really going to make you calm.
Relaxed. Yeah, it is going to make you relaxed. And
Very
that's,
relaxed, it's calm.
that's it's a background for healing. Because once you're relaxed,
Yes,
you realize,
absolutely. And
yeah, yeah,
yes,
it's a background. That's background to healing.
this is the beginning.
Yeah.
This is the beginning. You
Yes.
can't relax, forget about this, you
Yeah.
know? So
Don't
this
follow it. Yeah.
gives a very nice, and even the people who haven't slept for, let's say, for days, when they come, and if I do some activities, I know some techniques, scientific techniques, they will snore in 2 minutes, which
Yeah.
is very nice,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, from that sense, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anup,
So I try to,
you
yeah.
play so much of instruments. Which one is your favorite one?
Well, I really, it's just like seasonal, right? So you are from Ayurveda. So sometimes when I'm in the Vata, then I try to play some instrument. Sometimes, like, in the day it changes, in the night it changes. Just like raga, it changes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in certain mood. I
Uh,
just take my flute and I play my flute, and sometimes my guitar, like this. It's
yeah.
just thing. But I think if I have to choose one, I would always be my guitar, I think.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So,
Yes.
Anup, I want to know, like, you have a certain, like, you name them gong. By the way, Anup has a YouTube channel named Anup Panthi, and there are multiple
Yeah.
videos on this sound healing energies and all these things. And he have done it so authentically in a very Nepali taste. You get a very, our mountain and the taste of our
Mhm.
Himalayas, the vibes of our Himalayas in his work, in his art. And the next thing I want to know is, you have such a huge instruments like gong. You are putting there in front of the Himalayas. That is so,
Yeah.
aesthetically also, that is very intense for people like me to see. And so I hear your music as well. So how this gong thing happened? Was it after you traveled, you come to know about these instruments, or it was already known to you beforehand?
No, the gong has a very long history, and first, it is like the bell. When I was in Calcutta, I would usually go to the Devi temple, because I'm also into the Tantra sadhana like that. So in the Devi temple, you'll see one gong, like a gong, tang, 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 like that, So I would always find it very interesting. And then when I was in Burma, a long time ago, then was striking a gong, and then it felt very nice, but that was a very touristic gong. And then when I was in Kathmandu, one person had come with a gong, and she was playing, and I think uh, then I started like, oh, what is it? And to be honest, like, I really connect very good with the brass instrument, which
Mm.
is made from brass. So the whole idea is like, when I make my own instrument, like this very tiny ghungroos, like very tiny, you hardly find them.
Mm.
They are also brass. Bell, temple bell, they are brass.
Yeah.
Like the gong, brass, and like this, so singing bowl, brass, tingsha, brass with a little bit of different things. So the whole idea is like, they really produce very beautiful sound. So then yes, then I started learning about the gong and this and that. Then I went to Indonesia, Bali, and then this is from where the name the gong comes from. And again, I'm writing a book about also this, how it is connected to the Chandi temple in Indonesia, in Bali. That the first description of gong, like two people are carrying the gong, it's like in the Chandi temple. So, and we can also see how the importance of gong is in the Kundalini yoga. So the Kundalini yoga without the gong is impossible. So you'll just see like like we strike the gong to awaken the Kundalini, because again, if we connect it to the to our Vedas, then we know that the Rudra means the roaring one, right? So it's a roaring. Sravaya cha, Pratishavaya cha. So there's the whole idea is that the universe was not like boom, or it was not like om. Let's say how the people chant om. My grandfather used to say it's not om actually, it is. So when I play the gong, then I feel that it's a Rudra, like Rudra is coming, but we cannot chant that. So we just chant like Om in this way also. So it's a nice way to, chant Om. But actually it's a Rudra, it's a roaring entity, So the creation and it goes on like this. So and when I strike the gong, it just takes me so close to Rudra, to Shiva, and the roaring one, the Nataraja, and the like this. So, and then I'm doing it in the mountain. So usually this videos that, it's not really like, I'm not so much into making videos. I love this playing instrument in the mountains, in the jungle, next to a river. This is what I like. And just like my students, so why don't you record? And then I started doing this, and I'm doing it for a very long time. You know,
Yes,
I take like
exactly. I
many
was,
songs,
yeah,
and yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
When
I
all
love it.
things
I
were too
love it.
fancy, when this all these things were too fancy for a common person like me to really know about gong, and you were working like
Yeah.
decade or 7, 8 years. We see your YouTube videos that are 7, 8, 9
Yes.
years old, and you're
Yeah.
already ahead of your time. You're thinking about this.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
this uncommon story, not only
Yeah.
inspirational, it's an uncommon story. So,
Right.
one more question for you is,
Sure.
what is sound for you?
Now, so many things. First of all, it is for me personally, it is since it is an energy, right? It's a form of energy that we can do something about. The urja, that the pure energy, you cannot do anything about it. So for me personally, sound is uh, a means by which I experience the God, I experience divinity. It's through which I actually have romance with the universe. To be honest, when I tell people, when I teach Gong, it is through this instrument and the sound that you have romance with the universe, because everything is love making, everything is love. And it is through this that you talk to whatever you believe in God, you like you believe in universe, whatever you believe in consciousness. But it is through that you are,
Correct.
in communion with the higher thing. So for me, it's that. I always connect with the sound and silence more with
Yeah.
silence.
It seems like, the Japanese concept of ikigai, what you love, what are you doing, what you love, are you doing what you love, and are you earning
Exactly.
from that? Like the concept of ikigai, that you are living a life like an ikigai. The concept is a practical answer. Your life is a practical answer of ikigai. I
I feel so. I feel so.
Yeah, the next thing is the next thing I would like to know is how you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years. What you want yourself to be doing in the next 5, 10 years. You'll be in this.
So
Yeah. What will be
yeah,
the
before I used to,
situations?
before I used to travel, and after the COVID, it just completely, stopped. So I'll be traveling, and I'll be working on my books. And we are planning at least one very nice center in every one continent in the world. So not like a certification course and this and that. There are many people who are doing it, and nowadays, in Nepal now everybody like is a master.
From
But idea is to, idea is to to really do nice in this, and one center in one continent, if possible, big countries also. But then like in Europe, we want to have one center where we also want to work with the sound in both the spiritual context and the scientific context in that sense. But mostly from my perspective, I'll be traveling, I'll be teaching, and it's time. I'm finishing my book, so I'm writing mostly 3 books. One is on about the singing bowl, the history, and about the gongs and how properly to use and what are the this and that. So unlike small book like how you play, and I'm not so much into this. I really want to give them archaeological proofs, and the thing about how it really happened here.
References, yeah.
Yes. And then how can it be used? What is the proper way? Because I see there's a lot of problem in how it is being used nowadays, and very soon many people will think it's like just another just nonsense. This is what I don't want. I want, because of some people, they just make it too magical. I am not very big fan, because this can really work well. This can really heal world. This can really, like, it's so amazing, and instantly you fall asleep, means it's so amazing. A
Yes.
relaxation, it has, yeah, it is a meditation, and the chanting, how the mantras, how this can be connected. So this is what I want to give from a very scientific, logical, and also from the spiritual that point of view. And I'll be working on my books, a little bit of travel, and if possible, some centers around the world. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is I think,
yeah,
I'm not very optimistic. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm going to visit more mountains very soon. Yeah. So
yeah.
this is the thing. Yeah,
Anup,
yeah.
there is a curiosity. There is a little bit of curiosity in my mind that I have seen
Uh-huh.
videos on YouTube. Like some sounds are playing, and like there is a little thin layer of sand all over the table, and some sounds are produced, and it creates
Uh-huh.
like some kind of the
Patterns.
what you say
Patterns.
yantras in our culture.
Patterns.
Those things are
Patterns. Yeah.
produced. So can you tell a little bit more about this? How this is happening? Why this?
Yes. So so sound like this, we need to understand the properties of sound. And one of the properties of sound is that every sound, the way that because these are pressure waves, so, and they need a medium to travel. So it means either the air or it's water or the whatever, they need something to travel. Otherwise, we would be hearing very loud sound from the sun, like nuclear blast going on there, but we don't hear in the vacuum. So one of the property of the sound is that it has a shape, this particular property, and there's a branch of science that deals with that, where we study about this. It's known as the cymatics. Um, just like, it's not only in the sand. Okay, this was one of the experiment done by a scientist. His name was Chladni, and he had a plate. And if I also have these instruments here. Like if I just play some sound and place something on top of it, every frequency. Just understand, every frequency has a shape. So maybe if we want to connect it with this, so maybe when we are chanting, let's say, according to the Sangit Ratnakar, Sa is the invocating swara for the root chakra. And the petals, although, if we understand deeply, the petals represents the vrittis of the chakra, of the root chakra, just example. But you see that every chakra is also designed a shape. So maybe when we chant lam in the sa swara, maybe it is about this 4 vrittis, which is with that. So if we connect through that, maybe it is, but I would not say, oh, the Om has this shape. There are again some videos again. They would just simply play any sound and they say, oh, there was this experiment where, one particular frequency was, and then it became like a Sri Yantra. It's not true. Okay. So this
Okay.
is what I am not a very big fan of. Okay. So,
We need
and
to
no,
clarify
no,
our
so
audience. We
yeah.
need to clarify our audience that because you are an expert
Yeah.
of this and you can explain it.
Yes. So if somebody says that this particular frequency generated the Sri Yantra, then namaste. This is not. If it was that, I would be the first person to just try out, you know.
Okay.
So it's just that if we have anything, any let's say a surface or plate or whatever, and if we play some sound, and if it happened to be the resonant frequency of that sound, then a beautiful pattern appear. And it's beautiful experiment we all can do. And it's not just that a plate. And if we just take, let's say, a tap of water, and then we pass through some frequency, the tap is going to vibrate in some ways, and you would see there are also patterns. So when I speak, because it is a pressure wave, and the sound is a pressure wave, and it travels through medium, it must have a shape. That's the whole point of it. So means, yeah, all the mantras, maybe they have a shape, but still it's not, let's say, proven yet. It's not demonstrated. Somebody's are saying this, but it's not demonstrated. The moment it's demonstrated, it will change the way that we think. You know, if let's say that if I chant lam in a some way, and then we see a shape is becoming, you know, on certain surface like that of the root chakra, then it will change the whole perspective. But it doesn't happen. So it is the property of sound.
Yeah.
And from our perspective, I think we have to not degrade that knowledge of our rishis to, you know, to degrade to fit in which is not proven. This is what I'm not a very big fan of. I don't want to talk about that our rishis taught quantum mechanics. I am sorry, because that was about love, that was about consciousness. So maybe it's higher. You know, I am not very big fan of taking this into this and improving it very big. But this way, actually, we are degrading the value. So not like this. Yeah. So there are two, I think, to complete things. Yeah. One is the very physical property of sound, and it can be measured, it can be repeated, it can be done. The other one is maybe it can be experienced, and it's more deeper than we think. What are you going to do with the shape on the thing? Actually, it's about the vrittis, you know.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
need to come out from vrittis. So this is something that I feel, yeah.
So if we this is a beautiful conversation once again. This is about, we're talking about, you know, the little things that you did in your journey, and how and you have lived such a, you know, a life. Again, I have to say a life, a brave life, in fact, because everyone search for
Yeah.
opportunities, everyone search for, you know, a definite particular shape of things. Like since after this age I need to have this, after this age I need to have a house, after this age I need to have a vehicle, I have to I need to have this that. This is a certain shape of life we, every one of us, most of us, we imagine. So you choose, you could have been a computer engineer, went there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and settle yourself down in like an annual payments of a good handsome amounts of annual payments.
Mhm.
You choose an insecure path, but you choose the, you know, you choose the, you know, the language or the passion of your heart. So how this has really changed you, Anup? Like if you have been a computer engineer right now in a certain way, you earn well, you are doing everything well, but Anup as a computer engineer and Anup as what you are doing right now, how we can you know, differentiate how it has impacted you internally.
Yeah. I think in, you know, so now my friends, they are doing it. And I think again it just boils down to why you are working. um you know, so for some of my friends, bringing, like, you know, making their parents fly on the plane was very big deal. So that's why they were walking and working, and they were very happy about it. For me, that was not a big deal. And for some people, buying the car was very big deal, but for me, it was not very big deal. For me, what really mattered was I simply could not sleep, knowing that I'm just like working for money only. Yes, if I was doing something very challenging, even in that field, let's say I was making some very big project and which I really loved, maybe that was okay. But I was having money back then, to, let's say, before I had money, but I had no time to play my piano, to like not play my, my guitar. Then here, I have time to play my piano. I have time, and money is also not bad. And the beautiful thing is, I'm very aware of myself. I'm in a journey, and I think I can really sleep well. At the end of the day, I'm very peaceful, no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm very peaceful. I think this is what it matters so far. I'm very happy. I'm very happy in what I'm doing. Before, I used to be a little insecure because my friends were doing this and that, but now, like, maybe they're like, Anup, I wish, like, if my life was like this. But I have challenges equally, but I think at the end of the day, I'm very peaceful because, first of all, I'm doing something which is really good for me.
Yeah.
I'm very peaceful. For the past 15 years or so, I always tell people I haven't gotten angry. And I am learning I'm learning Buddhism, I'm learning yoga, and this is what I love, a kind of, philosophical mind. I love, I've got time to read books. I think I'm meditating. And at the same time, like, I'm teaching somebody, and at the same time, with my little knowledge and little thing, some people find peace and some people are happy. And I think I'm very happy with this. I think if I was if I was doing something else and if it was not very challenging, I think I would not be very happy because I love challenges.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm very peaceful. I can sleep peacefully.
Yeah.
Very
To
peaceful.
sum it up, like, you are living a life. Most of the people who do things in their holidays, you are doing it every day. I think this is a
Yeah,
sum
yeah.
conversation. Thank
Yes.
you so much,
Yes.
Anu, for joining.
Oh,
This was a really glad. I'm so glad that I could connect with you again and bring back the glory of sound. Because in our culture, in Hinduism, it's always like this universe was created with a sound. So sound is
yes.
so much important for
Yes.
our darshanas, our way of life, and everything, and how you have
Yeah.
incorporated healing, and creating so beautiful things out of the sound. Thank you so much for connecting with us, Anup. It was a great talk for me personally. I hope our audience will also love this. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you had your dinner in Nepal.
Yes. Yes. Anytime.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Maybe some other day we can connect again
My
and
pleasure. My
more,
pleasure.
more
My
about it. Thank you
pleasure.
so much,
Yeah.
Anup. Thank you
Yeah.
so.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for this wonderful
Is there
opportunity.
anything
And you're my
last line you
inspiration.
want to
Yeah.
say and conclude the show?
No, I think you have concluded. It's suppose, like, if somebody's watching, I think it happens if it's supposed to happen. So yeah, if it's not supposed to happen, it's not going to happen. So yeah, but listen to the heart. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up. So yeah, try
Yeah.
to find balance in what you do. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't be too much passionate about. Just relax. It's okay. You're gonna be dead anyway. So yeah, at least live before you die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was so nice to talk. I hope so. It was okay. And yeah, I'm hoping to meet you very soon. And you have been a great inspiration also. So whenever I look at you, I'm like, yes, it's very nice. Yeah.
So much, Anna. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Take care.
Okay,
Namaste.
namaskar.